Hi, my name's Russ. With Corbin here today, I've got some mobility issues. He's going to help me work through some exercises to help me.
So we're going to go through about 7 different mobility exercises to help go through full range of motion through our hips, our knees, our ankles, as well as our shoulder and our upper back. So if you have some restrictions with balance, grab a chair or a wall. We're going to be using it for almost every single exercise today. You can totally hold on to it the whole time and really help stabilize your balance. We don't want anyone falling over. The first point I will make with any of these exercises that we go through is as you're going through them, just go as far as you comfortably can. There should be no pain, there should be no major stretching. It should feel good, loose, light, and warmed up as we go through it. So the first one we're going to be doing is a forward leg hold. So you're going to let your leg come up in front of you, pause for a split second, and then just bring it right back down to the ground. So Russ is going to count for us as we go through, and then I'm going to mention some cues that help you get through it.
All right.
So when you're ready.
Sounds good. All right, here we go.
So while you're going through this one, I want you to try and keep your hips and your torso facing forwards the whole time.
3,
letting your leg come up as high as it can.
4,
keeping your leg as straight as it can.
5.
To add a bit more of a stretch through the back of the leg and
6,
through the hip, you can pull your toes
7
towards you. So we're going to be going
8,
all the way up to 10.
9,
And
10.
For the sake of having the chair on one side, we're going to do this and the next 2 exercises on the right leg, and then we're going to switch to the other leg. So the next one is going to be the side leg raise. So almost the exact same thing, but straight out to the side as high as you can, and then straight back down. So when you're ready.
Sure. 1.
So with this one, same thing, torso
2,
and body facing forwards. What you're trying not
3,
to do is lean and counterbalance away from it.
4,
So I want you to do your best to stay completely upright and let that leg
5,
come all the way out to the side.
6,
So with these mobility exercises, you'll
7,
feel the muscles all around the joint tensen up,
8,
potentially in ways that you haven't used them
9,
frequently before. So if you do feel
10.
a lot of tightness and pain with it, just take it easy, start light, wait for it to be nice and warmed up. So the third one we're going through is a full hip circle. So with this one, you're going to bring your knee up as high as you comfortably can, straight out in front of you, torso, hips facing forwards. Let it come out to the side as far as it will go, straight back down so your toes are still facing out that way, and then rotating it back forwards. So when you're ready, Russ,
Yeah.
we'll go through 10. So knee up as high as it can, all the way to the side, back
1.
down. Grabbing onto that chair or that wall for that support and balance is
2.
totally okay. If you can only bring it up, say this high, or if
3.
you're having some pain on the hip, that's okay. Just go through that
4,
light range of motion that your body is capable of doing.
5,
Yeah, those look perfect.
6,
As you come
7,
up, you can even try to keep your heel below your knee as it comes to the outside.
yeah, it puts a little different tension on there. 8,
Yeah. There's so many muscles throughout the body that slight different changes and angles work
9,
different things.
10.
Cool, so if you're using a chair, we're just going to switch it onto the other side to go through these on the left leg. So from that position, we'll go right back to those forward leg raise. If you want to count for me.
1,
So with these ones again, as you come up, you can try and pull your
2,
toes towards you, try and bring it up as high as possible. You should feel everything
3,
around your hips starting to really begin to warm up.
4,
Again, doing your best to not lean back and stay that completely neutral
5,
posture.
6, 7,
Those are great.
8,
You'll notice pretty quickly what your range of motion is. Some people, you might only be coming
9,
up to here. That's totally fine.
10.
So from there, straight out to the side, pause. If you have a lot of tightness through your hips, you'll be noticing a little bit of discomfort with this one, just as
Okay.
high as you comfortably can. So when you're ready, Russ.
1,
Yeah. Same thing
Two.
with this one. You can pull your toes towards you and try to make sure that your foot is
Three.
straight forward so that your toes aren't pointing up or pointing down.
Four.
Straight forwards, which is perfect.
5, 6, 7,
The pace is perfect.
8, 9, 10.
As it's really warming up, we'll go straight into the hip circle. So same thing, knee up as high as you can, all the way out to the side, down to the side with your toes still facing out, and then rotating forwards.
Okay.
So when you're ready, wrist, up, out, down.
1,
You might
2.
hear some popping or cracking in your hips. As long as there's no pain, that's okay.
3,
Again, this might be a range of motion that you're not used to
4.
going through.
5,
You'll notice all the muscles in your lower leg that's
6.
on the ground firing up, trying to help stabilize your balance, even if you're holding on to
7.
something.
8, 9,
The last one.
10.
Now that the hips and knees should be pretty warm on this side, we're going to go into another mobility exercise. So if you are holding on to something, and I recommend starting by holding on to something, we're going to grab onto that chair, you're going to drop, you can face it there, slide it this way just a little bit, you're going to hold on to it, you're going to try and drop all the way down as far as comfortable into your squat. If that's just a little bit, that's totally fine. If your heels have to lift up to begin with, that's totally fine. So from this position facing upright, you're going to let one knee come all the way out to one side, and then the other knee out to the other side.
Okay.
For Russ, if you want to drop down. Now to make two corrections in this position, I'll get you to try and bring your heels right down to the ground and spread your feet out a little bit wider so they're about hip width. So from that position, your knees to the outside allow your hips to come a little bit lower. You have good range of motion through your
Okay.
ankle, your knee, and your hip.
It is.
And from there.
Okay.
Yep. And you can continue going.
Sure. 2.
Yeah. And you can stay down for
Stay
these
down.
ones. We don't have to have to
Okay.
squat into it. So while you're holding on to this as well, try to keep your body completely upright, preventing yourself from completely
3.
bending and rounding forwards. So from the side, looks the
4.
same. Come out to one side, out to the other side.
5.
As I'd mentioned before, there's so many muscles and ligaments throughout the body and the lower legs that you might notice certain things like through your groins or through your hamstring or through the outside of your hip that's feeling tight. You might even feel a
8.
bit in your lower back. So just go to that light pull and just gently work through it.
9.
Again, if your squat is just down to here and you're holding on and you're letting your knee come out,
10.
that's totally fine for your range of motion. Cool. So we're going to move the chair off to the side. We're going to grab our mats. Hold on to the ground. So I will demonstrate this one sideways actually, so you can get a bit of a better view. So this one we're going to go into a deep lunge. So you're just going to come kneeling down to the ground. Again, you actually could use the chair to help yourself get down and back up, support. So with your back knee on the ground, your front leg here, you're going to try and set it up so that your knee is directly above your ankle. From here, you're just going to gently push forwards. So if you want to come down,
I don't know if I'll need the chair. We'll see. Knee over the heel.
yep,
Okay.
and you're just going to gently come forwards.
All right.
And then back to the starting, and that's one.
1.
So from here, what I want you to do
2.
is feel a good stretch through the back of your lower leg and the
3.
mobility through your ankle. If you don't feel much through here, you can bring your foot a bit closer to you,
4.
which will allow your knee to come further forwards. And again
5.
with this one, similar to the other exercises, you want your hips to be facing forwards
6.
so you're not twisting So as it's facing forwards, as far forward as you comfortably can, keeping your heel down on the ground,
8,
and then back up.
9, 10.
From there, grab onto your support or the ground, switch to the other leg. Same thing, knee over the ankle, torso facing forwards, and let's begin.
1,
Again, if you need to put your foot a bit closer to you, that's okay.
2.
We're trying to work on that flexibility and mobility through the ankle.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So from here, we're going to give the legs a little bit of a rest. We're going to come down into a hand and knee position. So hands and knees on the ground, shoulder above your hands, so you're supported. We're going to work through a thoracic spine rotation. So what you're going to do is lift one hand up. Now just to begin with, you're just going to reach across your body like this to make it simple. And then you're going to bring it out to the side, up as high as you can. And as you lift up, you're going to try and follow your thumb with your eyes, open up your chest, and reach up towards the roof.
Okay.
And then back down. So when you're ready, good.
1,
So as you do these, you can bring your back knees a little bit wider to help with your stability. As you come up, try to just rotate back as far as comfortable, keeping your 3 points of contact on the ground. And if you want to add a bit more mobility, you can reach and try and bring your shoulder as close to the ground as you can
3,
before bringing it all the way back up.
4,
And so similar with the other exercises, depending on where you have more tightness or restrictions, you could feel this more through your chest, through the front of your shoulder, through the middle or lower part of your back, or even through your neck.
7,
As mentioned with any of these, there should be no discomfort. There should just be a nice light stretch as it opens up your mobility through your joints.
and 10.
We'll switch sides. So alternate the other side. Make sure you're remembering to breathe. Do you have enough room there with the chair? Perfect. Same thing from that other angle. Reach through, and then as you come up, all the way up to the roof, your thumb should be facing in front of you the whole time.
2, 3,
Remember to keep breathing and exhale
4,
as your arm is coming up overhead.
5,
Great rotation
6,
through your back. That looks great, Russ.
7,
Good.
8,
Those look great.
9, and 10.
Good. So we're going to come back up to our feet nice and slowly, taking a deep breath. You can move the mats back off the side if you're lucky enough to have one. So now that our ankles, our knees, our hips, and our shoulders are nice and warmed up and loose, we're going to go through one more to help kind of put them all together. So you're going to start with your feet just hip width apart underneath your hips. You're going to try and bend at your waist so you're reaching down as far as comfortable to the ground, and then as you come up, you're going to extend your arms and try to reach straight up to the roof. So with these, as you come forwards, you'll have a slight bend in your knee, touch the ground, and come straight up, reach towards the roof.
2,
As you come down again, trying to make sure that you're keeping your back as straight as you comfortably can,
3,
and not extending back as you reach up overhead. So just reaching straight.
4.
If you feel these if you feel them a lot in your hamstrings or the backs of your calves, you can bend your knees a little bit more as you reach down. And come back up.
6.
If not, you can try to keep them a bit straighter.
7.
And reach. Those look great.
8.
And this is an overall excellent exercise that you can do pretty much any day.
9. And 10.
Perfect. So that's all the ones that we have to go through for now. You should feel nice and light,
Definitely.
limber. You should feel nice and warmed up, which is excellent. So do you have any questions with that one? How did
Okay.
it feel?
It felt good. Felt
Yeah.
really loose, like especially at the end.
Yeah, you should feel like you have a bit more range of motion now through things. Again, this is an excellent one that you can do even in the morning before you're going to do everything else that you do in the day, or even in the evening right before you get in bed. Just it's important to keep up with that mobility and make sure that you don't have restricted range of motion. So
Sounds
that's
good.
it. Thank you for joining.